everybody. So today I was thinking about trying 2 new muffin recipes. I have companies cooking cookbooks and I've been looking through them in the last weekend here, and I found a bunch of recipes that I want to try, so that's what we're doing in today's video. So the first recipe I chose is banana peanut butter muffins. I've never seen a recipe for banana peanut butter muffins. It's in this company's coming cookbook. It's on page 21, this recipe here. So that's what we're going to start with. And then we're going to make another one that I've never made before. I wanted to try a couple new muffin recipes because we eat muffins a lot here. And I want to try a few new ones. Okay, so let's start. This one looks fairly straightforward. Just sounds so interesting to me. Okay, so we need 2 small bananas. I have one really ripe one here and one not so completely ripe yet, but I think it should be fine. I was saving the banana for this. I like to use fairly ripe bananas for this sort of stuff just because it gives it a lot of really nice banana flavor. But one was, I have a lot of ripe bananas in the freezer, but I have them specifically portioned for banana bread. So I wanted to use the fresh bananas for this. I preheated my oven to 350. So I think I'm going to break this up first, mash these with the mixer here, and then we'll add the rest of the ingredients. Okay, I just wanted to make sure there wasn't like big chunks. I want to add some more of the liquid ingredients. So we need about 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. I'm just going to eyeball this. 1, 2. Some, I think we'll add the milk in last, just so it's not too much. We need some peanut butter. 2/3 of a cup. Let me get a, I think this is a third. Just 1 sec. That's a third. I was going to eyeball the peanut butter, but I don't want the mixture to be too moist, so I think we're going to attempt to put this in the measuring cup here. I think this is a recipe that my family is going to love. What was it? The pumpkin chocolate chip muffins that we made together, huge hit in my family. I have made that recipe, I think I made that recipe a couple months ago for you guys, and I think I've made it at least 10 times since then. All of the pumpkin from my garden has been dedicated to pumpkin muffins. So it was a huge hit. And an update on our last video of bagels. Huge hit as well. I've made them for the 2nd time already since that video. Loved them. They were great. Okay, and an egg. Let me just put this in the sink. Okay, so 1 large egg it says. Okay. And all that's left after this is the milk, but I want to add that after we add some of the dry ingredients. So let's mix this up. Oh, I just need a cloth here. I got egg on the counter here. Okay, let's mix it up. Let's add the brown sugar and the salt. Okay, we need about 1/3 cup of brown sugar. We need some salt. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then we need 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Tablespoon. And what else? Okay, all that's left is the milk, the chocolate chips, and the flour. So let's mix this up. I just want to give you guys a look how creamy that looks. Look how creamy that looks. It looks really delicious. Okay, now let's add, it says a cup of whole wheat flour and a cup of regular flour. I don't have whole wheat flour, so I'm going to do 2 cups of regular flour. So let's do 1 at a time here. 1. And I think I'm going to measure out the milk. It says to use vanilla or plain soy milk, but I'm just going to use regular milk. I don't buy soy milk, so we're going to do that. I'm just using 2% milk here. Okay, so I'm going to mix in some of the flour, and then I'll slowly mix in the milk and the rest of the flour. Okay, that actually mixed in really easily. Let me get the other cup. 1 more cup. We'll mix this and see how it mixes before we put the milk in. Okay, I'm going to slowly add the milk. I'm just making sure I got it off the sides of the bowl and the bottom. That looks really good. Let me give you a look. It's got like a really nice creamy texture to it. Okay, so let's add the chocolate chips. It says to add about 1/2 cup. I'm gonna add like a handful or 2. I usually eyeball putting chocolate chips in things. It's usually a preference, but you don't want to add too much, otherwise it makes the dough fall like too crumbly. Okay, let me get a spatula. And we'll just mix these in by hand. This looks really good. I think this is going to be a huge hit. Okay, let me spray some pans, some muffin pans, and we'll put these in the pan. Okay, so I sprayed the pan. I like to use cooking spray, it's easiest. This is a really soft textured dough. It's really nice, batter. So I like to use my scoop. So it says to bake these for 20 to 25 minutes. Oh, the smell of these are good. I think these are going to be a hit. We'll see. We'll see how they turn out. Sometimes you just know something's going to be a hit. I only have 2 muffin trays, so we'll see how many this makes. We might need to wait for these ones to be cooked before we put the other ones in the oven. I have it preheated to 350. It says in the recipe 375, but my oven is a bit hot, so I wanted to do 350 just in case, so I don't want them to burn. But just for your reference, it does say 375 in the recipe. Okay, I have enough for a few more, so I'm gonna spray the other pan and then we'll put a few in those ones. When I spray it, when you're not using the entire pan, you should try to stagger them. They cook a little bit better. I don't know if this is gonna be enough. Let's see. How much does it say it makes in the recipe here? 12. It says 12, so I got a little bit extra, which is totally okay. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do here, just so they cook nice and evenly, I am going to take just a little bit out of these big ones here, just to make this one a little bit more even. I was looking to try and add some new recipes to what I normally make, and this one just sounded perfect. Something I know that they'll probably love. Okay, I think that's good. So I'm going to pop these in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes, and we'll get started making the batter on the apple. Oh, I didn't even tell you, I'm sorry. I didn't even tell you that the second recipe is going to be apple streusel muffins. I've never made them before, and I have a few apples in the fridge that need to be used, and it's out of this company's cooking cookbook. It's on page 9. So that's the next batter we're going to start. So I'm going to clean up a little bit and then we'll start that one. So I cleaned up a bit and I pulled out some of the ingredients for the apple streusel muffins. I'm kind of excited about this one. I've never tried this before and they look delicious and I want to try it. So it says to use a cooking apple. All I have are gala apples, so I'm just going to use a gala apple. So it says to shred up a large apple, about 3/4 of a cup. So I'm just going to peel this and then we're going to shred it. I could use a peeler for this, but I've always just used a paring knife. But these have been in my fridge for a couple weeks, so they need to be used. I think my kids forgot they were in the fridge. Isn't that usually how it works? So I usually cut around the core like this. Hopefully this makes 3/4. If not, I have 2 more apples in the fridge that we can use. I washed the bowl and the mixers and everything we used in the last recipe, just so I have less dishes. See if I can do this without grating my fingers. So yeah, 3/4 of a cup. That looks like 3/4 of a cup. That looks like a little more actually. Let me get my measuring cup here. Yeah, this is a lot. It says to pack it in to make sure it's packed really, really far. I think this might be exactly 3/4 of a cup. Yep, perfect. So I'm just going to put that in my mixing bowl here. Let me wipe up my mess here and then we'll put the rest of the ingredients in. Okay, so we need 2/3 of a cup of milk, so I'm just going to add that right in. Cooking oil. We need a 1/4 cup. Let me get my 1/4 cup measure here. I usually use olive oil for everything. I don't really use a lot of other oil unless I'm frying something, which I don't do very often. So I'm using olive oil. And we need 1 egg. Okay, let's mix that up. Just so it has mixture, like it's mixed really well. The egg mostly. Okay. And then, let me make sure that was all the liquid. It is. Okay, so let's do the salt. Salt is 1/2 teaspoon. Same as the last recipe. 1/2 teaspoon. And then the baking powder is 1 tablespoon, just like the last recipe. Tablespoon. And we need 1/2 cup of sugar, regular white sugar. Half a cup. Okay, let's mix that because now we need to add the flour. So let's mix this in first. Okay, and 1½ cups of white all-purpose flour. About 1/2. Mix that in. I'm really surprised it doesn't have any cinnamon or anything in it. That surprises me. It does have cinnamon in the topping though, so maybe that's why. I'm going to give you a look because it actually, something I'm noticing about these recipes out of this book is they all look really, really creamy. I'm going to show you. Look how creamy that looks. That's just surprising to me. It's really, it looks good. Oh, I think our muffins are done. Let's check them. Oh, those puffed up nice. Okay, I'm going to go stick a toothpick in them and make sure they're cooked. Okay, so the peanut butter ones weren't quite ready. They're a little doughy in the middle still, so I put them on for a little longer. I only put them on for 20 minutes because I wanted to keep an eye on my oven. So it's right around where it should be. Hopefully another 5 minutes will be good. While the other muffins are still baking, let's make the streusel topping. So it says 1 tablespoon of butter. I'm going to eyeball this. About there. And 1/8 teaspoon of cinnamon. That's a teaspoon of cinnamon. We need 2 tablespoons of flour. One, 2. And then 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I had shut the oven off, so it's just back up to temperature. When I turn off my oven, you have to shut it all the way off to turn the timer off, which is kind of weird. Okay, so 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Let me just get a spoon here and we'll mix with the spoon. And then we just mix all this mixture together. And I'm pretty sure this gets sprinkled on top of the batter for the muffins. Let me see. Let me make sure. Yes. At the very end, we sprinkle this onto the mixture. For some reason, I feel like there should be cinnamon in the batter as well. This seems like a pretty plain batter, but we're going to do it exactly how it says. I think I'm going to do this with my hands. It'll be a little easier. I think these are going to be delicious either way. I'm very curious to try it. And I'm going to try it this exact way the recipe says for now. And then after I taste it, we'll see if it needed cinnamon. If so, the next time I make them, I'll add cinnamon. Okay, so I think this is almost good. Just break up the big pieces here. Okay, so I'm going to wait for the other muffins to finish, and I'll show you when they come out of the oven what they look like. And then we'll scoop these into the muffin tins, cook these, and then I'll show you what these look like. So I will be back once the peanut butter banana chocolate chip muffins are done. Okay, so they're out of the oven. The two that were in the pans by themselves got a little bit overcooked, but overall, this is what they look like. They puffed up a lot. So let's fill the apple streusel muffins now. Okay, so I'm preheating my oven to 400. In the recipe it says to do 400. And it says to fill the muffin cups 3/4 of the way. That's a little more than 3/4. Oh, it's really puffy. It's probably from the baking soda, or baking powder I meant. This is supposed to make 12 muffins, just like the last recipe. We got 2 extra on the last one. I think it's going to make exactly 12. It looks like it's already a pretty good amount here. That's just my oven's preheated. Plays a little song. This smells good. I can smell the apple. I'm really happy this recipe called for shredded apple. I don't really like big, huge chunks. Okay, so I'm going to do exactly what I did in the last recipe, and I'm just going to take a little bit of these more full ones and fill this other one over here. $400 seems a little high to me, but it says for 15 to 20 minutes, so I'm going to keep an eye on it. Okay, now we just need to top them with the streusel mixture, like this. And then once the streusel mixture's on, we're going to pop them in the oven. This looks like delicious. It's like a little mini apple cake. I'm just going to use all the mixture here on all of them. there we go. Okay, so I'm going to bake these at 400 for about 15 minutes, and then I will show you what they look like when they come out. Okay, so I just wanted to show you before I put them in the oven because they look beautiful. Yeah, they look really good. Okay, so the apple streusel muffins are out. It took 400 degrees for 15 minutes exactly. I didn't want to overcook them. They look good. Okay, so I'm going to take these out and put them on the cooling rack, and then we're going to give a taste test. I've got them on the cooling rack here. I put one of the extra peanut butter ones on my plate here. I am so curious to taste these. I think they're going to be, oh my gosh, they smell great. Okay, so let's taste the peanut butter one first. I think I'm just going to bite this one. That's an interesting flavor. That's very unexpected. I'm not sure what to think of that. The peanut butter isn't overpowering. I can taste the banana, and the chocolate gives it a really nice sweetness to it. It's an interesting combo. Like I said, I've never tried a peanut butter banana sandwich before. This is actually pretty good. Let me get a napkin. I think my kids are going to love that. So, let me get a drink, wash the flavor out, and then we'll try the apple streusel. Okay, let's try the apple streusel one. These ones are still a little warm. The texture's really nice. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, let's try it. I'm curious to see if the middle is going to be bland because it didn't have a lot of seasonings in it. That's really good. It's nice and moist. This one could have been a little bit more moist, but that's because I overcooked this specific one here. These ones here are probably a lot more moist. This is really good. The streusel topping with the cinnamon actually balances out the plain flavor in the middle, but I don't think it would hurt if I stuck like a quarter teaspoon of cinnamon in the middle as well. It's good. It's unexpected. It's good. I highly recommend making these. These is good. I think out of the two, this one's my favorite, but I think this is the one my kids are going to love. Yeah, really delicious. So guys, this is where I'm going to end the video for today. I want to thank everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.